Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Here in my darkroom, we're about to do some printing. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Hello guys.
No, you can't say that. It's hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You sound like Dick Van Dyke on a bad day.
I feel silly doing that.
You feel silly, I've got to do that every week. There's a great film community out there and I am proud to be part of it. Even if it's only a small part, it's still great to be involved. Over the past 4 years I've been uploading content to this channel. I've made quite a few friends, including you guys as well, and some I talk to on a regular basis, including this guy.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shoot Film Like a Boss, and we're in the darkroom today. Let's go.
Now Ribs has got a great channel called Doing Film Things. He does colour photography and recently he's been venturing into black and white, and we've been talking over the last year or so about meeting up. And now the lockdown's eased a little bit, last weekend was a perfect time and Ribs came over to the Isle of Wight for me and him to go out on a photo shoot, have a chat, have a bit of a laugh, shoot film and enjoy ourselves. Now Ribs is a New Yorker living in London, and I guess if you're living in a city, sometimes it's nice to get out of the city, get out into the countryside, take photographs of sheep and cows and countryside and post offices. And it wasn't easy for Ribs to get over here. He had to get a bus from London, then he had to get a train from Waterloo all the way down to Portsmouth, and then from Portsmouth he had to get a hovercraft over to the Isle of Wight, where I picked him up the other side. You made it.
You're much bigger and taller in person. How you doing?
Good, yeah. Let's go do some photographs.
Hell yeah, man, let's do it. Fucking dirty. Oh, wrong side.
Yeah. So the idea of a collaboration with Ribsy was quite simple. Once he got over here, we were just going to go off and take photographs. Now for Ribs, it would be something different, obviously being out of the city, but for me, I was taking him to all of my favourite locations on the island, and we spent all day going around these locations. Some of them, or most of them, in fact all of them, you've seen on my channel. But for me, it was more interesting to see how Ribs dealt with these locations and how he photographed them. I know how I photographed them, but it was interesting for me to see somebody else take their own view upon the scenes that I normally see. Ribsy was armed with his Bronica medium format camera, and he had 3 rolls of Ilford Ortho 80 to shoot, and he had some special colour film that he was shooting as well. For me, I took 3 cameras. I took a Pinhole camera with a roll of Potsdam 100 inside, thanks Gary Geezer for that, and also took a Chinon 35mm camera with HP5 and an Olympus OM20 with a roll of Ilford Ortho 80. But I was more interested in taking photographs of Ribs working. Now that was pretty difficult because in one hand I had a GoPro and trying to film what was going on and vlog what was going on. In the other hand I had a bag with 3 cameras in. So the first location we went to was up on the Downs, and you guys know that I love going up on the Downs. Sounds weird, but it's nice up there. So at first Ribsy couldn't believe that 2 cows would start humping each other, and I'm like, welcome to the Isle of Wight. Whilst I tried to tame some cows at one end, Ribsy was at the other end trying to get some photographs in, and he had a unique way of doing it. He had this kind of finger snapping action trying to get the cow's attention. And when that didn't work, he started to do some Bruce Lee moves, which I thought was quite impressive because it seemed to work. So most of you guys that follow my channel know that I like coming up on the Downs and taking photographs of these trees behind me. A little bit boring, some might say, but I enjoy it. So I brought Ribsy over here to see what he can do with these trees, and he's just walking around and taking photographs like anyone else would. So it'd be interesting to see what he comes up with, you know. He's quite impressed with it so far. I've got my Pinhole camera with me as well, and a roll of Potsdam 100, so I haven't been up here I don't think with Pinhole. So I might get one quick shot with a Pinhole camera of the tree. Is he taking a mickey behind me? After spending a bit of time up on the Downs, I took him to a location called Appuldurcombe House. Now that's been closed because of the pandemic the last year, but this weekend it was open, luckily enough. It's an old derelict mansion house where in World War II it got bombed and the roof blew off and now it's just a skeleton, but it's a great location to take photographs. It's also a little bit creepy and apparently, if you're into all that, a little bit haunted as well. And again, Ribsy enjoyed himself walking around his old manor house taking photographs.
It had to hang out at. Had to climb through the window.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that, they'll tell you off. And like I said, it's interesting to see what compositions he come up with. The amount of times I've been to Appuldurcombe House, I've never noticed this little tiny gate at the back before, which Ribsy seemed to have got quite fond of. He decided to take some photographs.
People are gonna yell at you on the video for this.
What's up?
Putting my lenses on the floor.
What do you think of this place, Ribs?
This place is pretty cool. I like all the angles in here. I tried to get real, like, you know, street photography, like chase the light, if you know what I mean. But it was a bit tough. But I did find a couple nooks here. I bet you the negatives will look cool, and then maybe I'll be disappointed when I actually develop. I feel like that's what the story of my life. But no, I think it was cool.
So this is a place called Appuldurcombe House where I've bought Ribsy, and I did a couple of videos here. One I'll put in the link in the description. You can see the video that I did a few years ago now when I came here with the Mamiya 645. It's an amazing place, and story has it that World War II, a couple of German fighters were going back to Germany after dropping bombs in London, and they dropped one here and it blew the roof off. But it's now part of the National Heritage and it's free admission, so you can walk around here to your heart's content, and it's real cool for angles and whatnot. I've never actually shot Pinhole here before, so I'm going to get a couple of shots on Pinhole, see what we can do. It'll also be interesting to see what Ribsy comes up with. He's gone upstairs somewhere. Also be interested to see what Ribs comes up with. Oh, he's up there, look. He's up there. Hello. You do realise that these stairs are haunted. I thought you'd like it here because just so much shadows and stuff, and loads of compositions you can get. The next location was a place called Compton Bay, which is a beautiful beach on the other side of the island, about 20 minutes or so drive from where we were at the house. And as we strolled along the beach, we were just chatting about photography, and he was telling me about the beaches out in America. It was quite hard to photograph at the beach because the sun was quite bright and the big glare coming off of the sea, it made it a little bit difficult to take photographs, or at least that's what I found. So I didn't take many at the beach, but just took a couple of Ribsy doing his thing, and then we proceeded from there to go on to our next location. The next location was Freshwater Bay, and that's another nice location that I like shooting. You guys have seen that on the channel before, where these rocks are sticking out of the water and there's a big cliff edge as well. And it was interesting again to see the compositions that Ribsy was setting up for his photography. I know what I like doing, but like I said, it's interesting to see what someone else, their view of your favourite scenes are. And after that we went down into the bay, which is a nice big stony beach, and I think that was Ribsy's favourite location of the day. These paragliders were flying over and he just seemed to be in awe of it all. As we headed back towards the car to get onto our next location, we came across a snake, and I've never seen any snakes on this island before. Ribsy asked me what kind of snake it was. I didn't know. I told him it was a rattlesnake. I'm not sure if he believed me. I then said it was a king cobra, and I think he realised I was joking, but I didn't know what sort of snake it was. I had a feeling it was an adder, because I think adders are the only snakes that we get in Britain. But this little sod, he seemed a little bit fiery. He just wanted me to leave him alone, really. So just getting a little tiny bit of video footage close to this snake, he started to curl up, and I thought he was going to pounce at me. At one point I didn't want him to jump on me and start biting Ribsy as well. Snakes can be pretty nasty just because it's a Friday, you know. So I decided to leave the snake alone. It went off in the grass, and then me and Ribsy headed off to a sleepy town called Yarmouth, where we took a few photographs of the pier. Then we had a little bite to eat and a beer, and started to talk about football, golf and needlework.
got 5 shots, I think, left on here.
The next stop was one of my favourite places on the island to shoot, which is a place called Newtown Creek. Again, you guys have seen this on my video many times before, but it was interesting to see Ribsy working his way around Newtown, what compositions he was getting. And again, I was taking photographs of Ribs working on the Ortho, and Ribsy came out with some nice photographs of Newtown Creek, stuff that I wouldn't have thought about shooting before. So we spent a little bit more time around Newtown Creek, and then we headed back towards Ryde where the hovercraft was, and by now it was nearly 8 p.m. His hovercraft was going to be picking him up at about 8:15, so it was an ideal time for him to get a couple of sunset shots, get on the hovercraft and head back home. And by now we was both pretty exhausted. I mean, it was 8 o'clock at night, we'd been shooting all day long, and especially for Ribs, he started his journey around 8 a.m. so I know especially that he was getting tired as well. So time for him to jump on his hovercraft, get back on the train up to London and to say our farewells. And above all, I really enjoyed myself on that day, and I know Ribsy enjoyed his excursion, his little trip over here as well. And I could have shot a lot more video for the vlog, but me and Ribsy was just walking along and chatting and enjoying ourselves and getting to know each other as well, and sometimes just forgetting that we was there making vlogs at the same time. And I could have took a lot more photographs, but I was more interested in seeing what Ribsy was doing and taking photographs of Ribsy while he was working. So that was a fun collaboration with Ribs coming over here. The next one we're planning to do is I'm going to get off to London, and Ribs is going to take me around some of his favourite places in London, and we're going to do the same thing over there, so watch out for that one. If you want to know who Ribs is, guys, I'll put a link in the description so you can jump on his channel. He does colour photography and also black and white. He's just venturing into black and white, so it's interesting to see him getting on with that. And don't forget, Ribsy was also vlogging as well, so if you want to see his side of the story, which I don't know what he was doing with the camera, I ain't got a clue till I see it. I haven't even seen it myself. Jump on there and have a look. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're in the film community, keep talking, keep zooming, keep collaborating, keep chatting to each other. I'll catch you next time.
When I first moved to the UK and I heard you say me channel,
Me channel.
I was like, what is that? Is that? And then like I started hearing more people's accents, and eventually I realized that, like, you know, some people say that way.
Go back to me channel.
Yeah, it was just interesting to me.